Have you ever said yes to something that you really didn't want to do just to avoid conflict? For a long time, I thought being a good person, a good friend, meant saying yes to everything. I said yes when I was uncomfortable, when I was tired, when I just really deep down didn't want to do it. My yeses weren't rooted in love, they were rooted in fear. Fear of disappointing people, friends, men. And the truth is, that kind of people pleasing cost me my peace, my joy, and even some self respect. I had a decade long friendship. Over time, people change. I know that I certainly did. It got to a point in this friendship where I kind of started holding my opinions back, maybe shrugging off some sort of comments that weren't very nice, because I've never been someone to be very confrontational. I like to just go with the flow and not ruffle any feathers. Well, that, sometimes it depends. But for the most part, I like to be the peacekeeper. Unfortunately, with that friend and in other occasions, it's kept me from being me. I kept her used to this version of me that wasn't true. I've heard people pleasing be tied to manipulation, which it sounds harsh, but I think it makes sense if you think of it in the way that you're trying to control the outcome by not being yourself authentically. You're trying to control their perceptions of you by staying likable. And that was really my biggest thing, is to stay likable. I just accepted maybe a lot of treatment that over time, maybe a few times, because I'm so easygoing, it's no big deal. But over time, this becomes exhausting and draining. But let's remember that Jesus didn't always say yes. In Mark 1, he says no to constant demands of healing. He's being asked, like, Jesus, come do this, come do this. But his mission asks him to continue on to different towns. In John 6, after feeding the 5,000, they want him to stay and be their king. But that's not his mission, so he says no. The thing is that people pleasing is not rooted in humility, that is truth. The motive often comes from fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of disapproval. And if you're not being truthful in what things are not okay with you, then that's just going to become very draining over time. It's going to disrupt your peace. And again, it's not so much the other person's fault, because we're not really responsible to how they behave. We can't just expect them to know how something makes us feel. And honestly, some people just take advantage of that. What's more important is not staying likable to that person or people that are taking advantage of you, but to do the right thing in God. Boundaries are sacred, and each time that you choose God's approval over people's, you step more fully into the freedom that Christ died to give you.